Hey Thrift Crafters, welcome to the next video in the Witchcraft 101 series. Today we're going to focus on spells and how to write a spell. All over the internet there are websites and blogs and individual Facebook posts and Facebook groups that are dedicated to sharing spells. So how did these people write these spells? What kind of things did they have to take into consideration? This is probably one of my biggest questions I see all the time on the internet, especially on my Tumblr or, on Facebook groups for beginners, is how do I write a spell, or can someone give me a spell? Things of this nature are actually very easy to write. It's just a lot of people think that they have to be done in rhyme, they have to be, in that iambic pentameter of, I can't even think of an example right now, but they always think that you have to have them be these big, bold words and all of this stuff has to be developed for them. So in a way that's correct, but it's not entirely correct. So you do have to put a little bit of work into a lot of spell work. There are some spells that can be done very easily on the fly. Most of these are based in old folklore, such as, burning a bay leaf, you can send wishes. If you carry mint in your wallet, it brings prosperity. Hanging mistletoe above your bed will bring fertility, things of that nature. There are also spells that require a lot of writing and contemplation and development, and that's what we're going to talk about today. These are not the only types of spells out there. This is not the only type of way to develop spells. This is not the only way to write spells. This is the way that I found works best for me, and so I'm going to share it with you. If you hear some noises, that would be Nova, the cat, playing with a plastic bag. There's also some guys outside doing some maintenance on the staircase that's outside leading up to my neighbor's apartment. So, in case you hear weird noises, that's what's going on today. I wanted to do this video because I have time today, so I figured I'd just struggle through. Come here, magical kitty. So, what sort of things do you need to write a spell? Literally all you need is a pen and paper and your mind. So, this video basically assumes that you understand what magic is. You have a general definition of it. In case you don't, a quick down and dirty reference to it is magic is the willed ability to enact change. So basically, magic is your personal energy, your personal thought, that deep, strong intent of willpower going out into the universe and saying, I want this to happen, and so I make it so. What we're going to do is I have a handy dandy whiteboard here and a fancy little dry erase marker. So we're going to title this My Spell. My Spell, nice and fancy. The first question you need to ask yourself is, what is your intent? So what does this mean? Why are you writing this spell? So once you write that down, why are you doing this? That kind of says, what's the point? What's the purpose? So let's say that we want to do a prosperity spell. So I'm doing this because I need money. Very simple. I need money. The next thing, you want to write out the specifics of your intent. So what this means is, what kind of money do you need? Do you need money in the form of a reliable income? Do you need money in the form of quick cash that you can get from now until next Friday? Do you need money in that you are thousands and thousands of dollars in debt and you need to get out of debt? These are the types of questions you have to ask yourself. The other thing you have to ask yourself regarding your intent is, why am I doing magic? Why is it not enough for me to go out and apply for a job or ask family for money? Why can't I do this? This relies on you putting forth a little bit of that mundane effort and coming to an understanding of what you need and why you need it. So once you write that down, for me, I'm going to say, I need money. I need a part-time job. So that's what I wrote. I need a part-time job. So write out those specifics. Who is affected by this job or by this spell? I am affected positively You can always, change this up. If you have a great aunt who you despise and the rest of the family despises, but you're in her will and you want to bring ill will to her, okay, great, go ahead. But generally, I just prefer that the spell really only affects me and gives me that positive outcome that I'm after. I am affected. So then the next thing is, what will be accomplished when the spell is done? I will have a part-time job that suits my schedule. Notice how specific I'm being. So I'm going to say school schedule to be even more specific. So my new school schedule is going to be very, very hard to work a full-time job, which is why I'm being specific that I need a part-time job. I'm also being specific that it suits my school schedule. So you can also say something along the lines of, it fits my preferred schedule, and assume that the universe will be able to know what your preferred schedule is. You can even go into more detail and say, I want a part-time job that fits my preferred schedule of only working Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. I do not want to work on Saturdays and Sundays. You can be as specific as you feel you need to. So because there's no target in this spell besides me, when it says, when you ask yourself, okay, where is the spell going to take place, you can say, I want the spell to take place within a certain time frame. So you can get rid of the word where and go down into when. And there's a worksheet I'm working off, guys, and I'll post the link to the document in the description of this video. My free gift to you. What is the time frame? So for me, I would like a part-time job, say, before June. So when? Before June. And we'll say before June 5th. Why not? June 5th, random day that I picked completely arbitrarily. Okay, so, and when does this spell stop? The spell stops when I have a good part-time job. So if you want to go back and say, I need a part-time job that I love, or that I value, or that values me as a person, you can get very specific, because it's one of those things where you have to kind of consider, be careful what you wish for. If all I said was I want a part-time job, I could get a call from McDonald's tomorrow saying that they have a job available for me. I don't really want to work at McDonald's. So what I need to do is I need to kind of take it into consideration of, I really need a good job that values me as a person, that values my schedule, that appreciates who I am as an employee, and that I am going to enjoy. So these are all things you have to consider when you write it down. The other thing you need to consider is, why are you really doing this spell? How will you be affected? Once you have all those details down about why you're doing the spell, because that's all this really is. It's why you're doing it, what you're trying to accomplish. It's kind of diarying, that's not a word, diarying out for yourself exactly what you need. It's kind of thinking out loud for you. So once you have done this, you can then go and you can do all the other work. This is where those things called correspondences come into play. If you don't know what correspondences are, it's okay. The next video in this series is going to be all about correspondences. I'm going to explain what they are and how to use them. So if any of this sounds confusing, it's okay. We're going to do that in the next video that gets uploaded. So what kind of spell do we want to do? Is this going to be a ritual, or like a big, long, elaborate spell? Or is this going to be something very quick, like dressing a candle with herbs and oils and letting it burn down, and when it burns down, it's complete? Is it not magic, where whenever you think of money or whenever you see money, you're going to tie a knot in a cord? Are you going to make a potion that you drink or that you cook? Are you going to make soup so that you can just constantly eat it, and whenever you eat it, you think of making money? Are you going to bless the online application you're filling out for the job you really, really want? What kind of spell are you going to do? For me, I like to do ritual spells because I am a religious witch. I tend to utilize the help of my gods to make things happen. So it's entirely up to you. So what kind of spell do you want to do? For this one, I think I'm going to do a ritual. And then what will all the parts be? So because I'm doing a ritual, I know that it's going to involve my full circle. And I know that it's also going to involve meditation. And I think the actual action behind it, I think I'll do a candle and some herbs. And then I think maybe I'll also bless a stone to keep in my pocket as a little talisman to continually charge this and keep it with me. So those are my parts. Then the mood parts. So this is something I don't hear talked about a lot within a lot of beginner tutorials, is the amount of mood and thought and energy you should have when you do this spell. If you're going in and you're doing a prosperity spell and you're coming at it from a place of anger because you are so desperate for money, use that emotion. If you're coming at it from a place of, oh, you know, I could use a little money, and you're kind of wishy-washy about it, chances are your spell is probably not going to work. Nova. Sorry, my cat. What emotional state do you need to be in? Are you going to be completely passionate about this? Are you going to be very driven for this? Or are you going to just be very relaxed and very chilled out, kind of the mood I'm in right now? You want to make sure that your intent and your mood match up, because otherwise the likelihood of that spell working in the time you set for it is probably not going to work. The next thing you want to do is you want to write out the spell. If you want to write it in rhyme, if you have that ability to write it out poetically, please be my guest. Whatever works for you and helps you better connect to a spell. If for some reason that doesn't work for you, like sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't, write out what you're going to say, if you're going to say anything. You know, even if you're going to, you know, combine maybe a sigil with a candle spell, go ahead and do that. Write out what it is you're going to do to make the spell come to life. And then once you do that, go and perform the spell. Spell writing is very, very easy when you know how to do it. So, to recap, the things you want to consider when you're doing a spell. Let me write them all down here in order. And then again, I am going to share this worksheet with you guys in the description below. So feel free to borrow that worksheet and print it out and use it as you need to. So what do you need for the spell? You need to know who is it affecting. You need to know what is the purpose. Why are you doing it? When does it need to take place? And when does it need to be fulfilled? What are the ingredients? And how will the spell come to fruition? And how will it affect you? So, very easy. Spell writing is so simple, you guys. In later videos, we're going to talk about different types of magic that you can do, different types of spells. And so wait around for those videos. We're going to talk about candle magic and stones, kitchen witchery, herbs, sigils, using spoken word and using written words. And then we're also going to talk about the importance of being specific in a later video. I talked a little bit briefly about it today. Again, please visit that worksheet. If you have any questions, let me know. Spell writing can be as simple or as specific and descriptive as you make it. Remember that magic is yours. There's no wrong way to do magic. The other thing I'll have to point out is when you're done doing a spell, I am of that opinion that when you do magic, you don't talk about it. I'm also of the opinion that the more you fret and the more you think about it, the more energy you take from it. So if you sit there and you do a spell and 20 minutes later you start saying, did it work? Oh my gosh, I wonder if it worked. Oh, I bet it didn't work. And you start doubting it, that energy is going to come out of that spell. Your magic is going to falter because you're taking that away from it. So be confident in your ability. You are a strong and powerful and amazing witch, and you can do this. It's okay to have doubts, but once you do that magic, have confidence in yourself. I promise it's going to work. I'll see you guys real soon. Have an awesome day.